Have you ever wondered why it's so hard to stop scrolling? Why just 5 minutes on social media somehow turns into an hour? And what makes a simple notification feel almost impossible to ignore?
What if the answer lies not just in technology, but the way our brains are wired? Our next speaker, Vivan Agrawal, is a curious thinker, driven by a desire to understand the why behind everything. In his talk, What Drugs and Instagram Have in Common, he explores how social media platforms tap into very same dopamine pathways associated with addictive substances, revealing that our urge to keep scrolling is not accidental but carefully designed.
Get ready for an idea that may change the way you look at your screen and perhaps even your habits. Vivan, the TEDx stage is yours.
Johann Hari said, the opposite of addiction is not sobriety. The opposite of addiction is connection. He was a journalist who spent 3 years studying addiction across the world. That line stuck with me for a long time, and by the end of this talk, it'll mean something very different than it does right now. I have a question. Before coming here, how many of you checked your phones within the first 5 minutes of waking up this morning? Well, keep that thought in mind because that habit has a name. It has a chemical explanation to it. We live in the most connected generation in human history. More people to talk to, more content to consume, and more ways of communicating than any generation before us. Yet, anxiety levels among teenagers are at an all time high. Attention spans are declining. Students, just like you all, have reported feeling restless, overstimulated, and unable to concentrate at one thing for more than a few minutes. We blamed exams, we blamed pressure, we blamed the pace of modern life. We looked everywhere for a cause but couldn't find one. That's because it was in our pockets the entire time. Now, I want to make a comparison today that might surprise some of you. I want to compare social media, something most of us use every day, to addictive substances, better known as drugs. And trust me, this is not to be dramatic, but because the science leaves me no other choice. When you look at what both of these things do to your brain, the same chemical, the same structure, the same pathway, the comparison is not just fair, it's accurate, it's identical. Let us start with addictive substances. When a person consumes an addictive substance, it travels deep inside their brain to a place called the nucleus accumbens, the reward center. Over there, a chemical called dopamine is released. Dopamine is heavily regarded as the pleasure chemical, but it is actually the anticipation chemical. It shoots out not when you receive a reward, but the moment before you receive one. That feeling of something good is about to happen, something is gonna come. That is dopamine. So, when substances artificially flood your brain with dopamine, it reaches levels the brain was never designed to handle. To counter that, the brain reduces its own dopamine receptors through a process called downregulation, just to bring things back to a balance. Now, the consequence is pretty devastating. The brain has fewer receptors than it originally did. So, regular activities like food, laughter, conversation, they have almost no dopamine release. This makes them feel bland, colorless, empty. People addicted now require these substances just to reach a normal baseline. That is chemical dependency, that is addiction. Happening at the molecular level inside your brain with no moral judgment attached to it whatsoever. Now, I want you to think about what happens when you receive a notification on your phone. Dopamine release. A like on your post, dopamine release. A video loads as you scroll through your feed, dopamine release. The same chemical, the same pathway, the same nucleus accumbens. The difference between drugs and social media is not their mechanism, it is the way they're delivered. App developers knew this. They spent several hours on research on human behavior and came up with something called a variable reward loop, borrowed from the idea of gambling. The logic is precise. Unpredictable rewards are far more addictive than predictable ones. If every video you go through is great, your brain just adjusts to it and everything goes back to being boring. But when the reward is unknown. You don't know what's about to come next. Something's going to be great. Something might just be very boring. Your brain just cannot disengage. It wants to know what comes next. Just like a person addicted to substances keeps on going back for the next hit, a person addicted to social media keeps on scrolling for the next post. The compulsion is identical, the neuroscience is identical. When was the last time you all opened your phone for a specific purpose, did that purpose, and closed it immediately? Most of us cannot answer that question because these apps, they were never designed to be finished. They were designed to keep you on them for as long as possible, as every second spent on them is being sold to advertisers. Your time is the currency and your attention is the product. There is another chemical both of them share, cortisol, the body's primary stress hormone released by the adrenal glands. With substances, a crash after a high triggers the release of cortisol, anxiety, restlessness, the desperate need to go back for more. With social media, whenever you open your phone, you anticipate a reward, a notification, but you get nothing. The body releases a spike of cortisol. You anticipated rewards, you got nothing. The body responded with stress. Have you ever heard that your friends calling you that, oh, I posted a story, no one's liked it, no one's commented on it. Does everyone hate me? Do I have no friends? Well, that is the cortisol acting up. So the phone is doing two things simultaneously. Releasing dopamine when it rewards and cortisol when it does not. Stress and reward. Cycling back and forth all day, every day. That feeling of vaguely being on edge. It's not inside your head. It's being chemically produced. They both run on the same loop. One is sold in a packet, the other is free to download. Now, let us look at what this is actually doing to our future generation. So, there's a part of a brain called the prefrontal cortex. It is responsible for focus, planning, decision making, and long term thinking. It is the most important region when it comes to building a future. Chronic substance addiction has already shown its effect over here. Decreased activity, impaired judgment, and collapsed attention. Careers and lives are simply destroyed. Research now shows that social media has a highly similar effect. Reduced prefrontal cortex activity, reduced attention spans, measurable difficulty in deep, focused, long-term thinking. The region is the same, the decline is the same, happening due to one thing, chronic overstimulation. Now, here is the difference which I think matters the most. Drug dealers know what their product is doing to your brain and they sell it anyway. See, drug dealers sell their products. Social media developers, on the other hand, they know what their product is doing to the brain and make it free to download one click away. Imagine a substance was being sold right outside your gate for free, engineered to turn on your neural reward pathways, to bring you back every few minutes, refined using billions of dollars of research. What would we call that? We would call it a crisis. Johan Hari said the opposite of addiction is connection. He did not mean the number of followers you have. He did not mean the likes, posts, or the likes, comments, or views on your Instagram story. He meant real, human, present connection. The one that happens face to face, in the same room, with no screens between you and the person you're talking to. It is the type of connection that cannot be engineered into an app or measured in notifications. The science is pretty clear. The damage is measurable. And the comparison, well, it's real and it's happening. An entire generation's attention was like a product. And none of us even read the terms and conditions. Thank you.